Last week the Blastburn Rovers picked up their first win of the season, putting them at 1-3 on the season thus far. The baton has now been passed to the new manager, Caitner 2, who looks to make a surprise playoff push here at the midpoint in the season. In order to do that, he's going to have to put up a solid showing against Anima and her Golden State Dragons. Come with her fourth consecutive win in the season, Anima defeated Enzo in the showing of the remaining unbeaten teams. Kyle has a large task ahead of him. Can he pull off a huge upset against the statistical best team in the league? This is week 5 of the TBU.
What's going on, everybody? K to the 2 here with week 5 of the TBU, the Battle Union. This week we are going up, as you saw, against Anima and the Golden State Dragons. This is going to be quite the task ahead of us, and, you know, things and stuff. This one, as you can see, link will be down below to the team analysis that I recorded that will have gone up before this. If you have not seen it, go check it out. But you can see that I predicted all 6 of the mons that I thought she was going to bring correctly. So that is going to make things a whole lot easier. She said after the match that she did not expect a couple of the things coming from my end. So that's going to put me at a good advantage. I'm not going to talk about what I brought necessarily right now because I already did that in the team analysis, so that's why I want you guys to check that out. Looking at her team, I feel like my best lead was the Mega Pincer, so that is what I am indeed going to lead off with. My Mega Pincer is able to get its Mega off for free since it does have the Protect, and it does do a whole lot to Anima's team. So that's what I'm going to do. I really don't know or care what she's going to lead off with. If she led off with the Hippo, it would be kind of a problem. However, she does decide to lead off with her Mega Metacham. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to predict the Fake Out first turn. I'm going to get my Protect up, and that is going to save any sort of damage coming my way. She does end up staying in, Mega Evolving herself, and she is going to fire off the Fake Out as I get off my Protect. Now this is exactly what I wanted, and I have a surprise on this Mega Pincer. I do have the Toxic, and Toxic is going to be what I go for right here because I predict her to switch out into the Hippowdon, which is exactly what comes in. Now Toxic on this Hippowdon might not seem like the greatest idea because I'm not going to be staying in on it with Mega Pincer. However, that poison damage is going to come into great effect because I do have the Grass Knot on Thunderous Tea, and any sort of damage is going to guarantee the OHKO with Grass Knot. So right here, I know she's going to go for the rocks, so I'm just going to go ahead, make my safe switch into what are Pants the Slowking. Now Slowking is going to be able to force this thing out. I'm just going to fire off a safe Scald, as it will force this out. I can get a free burn on whatever wants to come in. So she indeed switches out, and she goes into Newt Toot, her Aromatisse. And this thing is a problem, just somewhat. I mean, there isn't a whole lot that it can do. It's basically just gonna sit here until like things and stuff happen. I'm going to make the switch right into Excadrill here as she goes for the Toxic. Now I was not expecting a Toxic. It's really good that she went for the Toxic instead of the Moonblast, instead of going straight for damage, because I do get a free switch into my Excadrill here. Now right here I'm going to go ahead and get off my Rapid Spin because that is huge. Because I do have my Mega Pincer and I do have my Thunderous Tea. Both of them do not appreciate rocks at all. In comes Shooting Starmie as I get off my Rapid Spin. Now right here, I make what looks like to be a risky play, and I stay in with my Excadrill. It is because I have the Pastro Berry, and I know I can live whatever this Starmie wants to go for. So what I do is I go straight for the Earthquake, as she makes the prediction of me going into something else, probably into the Slowking, and she goes right into her Greninja, which takes about 90% of its health from one Earthquake. So that was really good for me. I expected to stay in, just get damage off on the Starmie. Instead, I get some good damage off on this Greninja, and I do have my Assault Vest Hariyama, which I bring in right now. Stephen D taking that Scald like it's nothing. I'm going to go ahead and go straight for the knockoff as she brings in her Aromatisse. Now right here, I do carry the Heavy Slam on this thing, and Heavy Slam is going to destroy this specially defensive Aromatisse. If it was physically defensive, it would do a max of 56%. As you can see though, it went straight down and it was specially defensive. Now she's going to bring in the Mega Medicham, and Mega Medicham is going to force me out. I don't really want to take a Zen Headbutt this early, and I'm going to go into my check for this thing, which is my physically defensive Slowking. As she goes for the Poison Jab, she packed Poison Jab on here in case I brought the Togekiss or the Tangrowth, which both of which I have on my team. However, she unfortunately for her, I didn't bring either of them. So I'm going to go ahead and reveal the Shadow Ball on Slowking, and right here you can see that this is one bulky ass Starmie. I think it's max HP with a little bit of speed. It has leftovers on it. And right here, we are going to see a little bit of a stall war. It's going to turn into me going for T-Wave, her going for Recover, and then eventually going for T-Wave. So right now, at this point, I have only knocked out Aromatisse, and I am up 6-5. And I have knocked her Greninja down to about 10% of its health. And Hippo is toxic. So this is great news for Thundurus if I want to try and get it in here safely. This Starmie is paralyzed, and there's no way it is going to outspeed right now. Outspeed my Thundurus T. So what I'm doing right here is I'm trying to get this Starmie low enough to where it has to recover or it'll go down to a Shadow Ball. That way I can get my Thundurus in here for free and set up a sub. I originally intended for Thundurus to be a... I originally intended it to be bluffing a Choice Scarf. However, I'm not going to need to do that if this Starmie is already paralyzed. So I'm going to go for another Scald. And she is going to go straight for the Recover here. Or no, this is where she goes for Thunder Wave. So yeah, like I said, this is going to be... I really should have sped this up, but who knows? You know, things happen. Right here, she is going to have to go for Recover. And I'm just going to start firing off Shadow Balls. She doesn't seem to really want to hang on to this thing. And I know that she's going to want to recover just to keep her health up. I'm going to go straight for my Shadow Ball here. Unfortunately, this one does get a crit, and it brings her down to about 25%. And I know right here is definitely my chance to go into Thundurus T. So this is the turn where I'm going to make my switch into Thundurus. And I'm going to get up a free substitute. Now, right here, once I have my substitute up, I'm basically going to get 2 free kills, because if she goes straight into the Hippowdon, it's going to die to a Grass Knot, and I'll still have my sub up, and she's going to have to sack something off in order to break my sub, because I can basically OHKO everything else that she brings in, unless it's Medicham, but Medicham won't outspeed, and it'll go down anyway. So in comes the Hippo, as I said, as I go up for my substitute. And she is going to show leftovers again, take a little bit of toxic damage. And that toxic damage, like I said before, it ensures the kill with Grass Knot here. It did a minimum of a 94%, so it had about 12% missing, and it's gone. I wanted to make sure that it didn't have a Rindo Berry, so then she could guarantee to have lived the Grass Knot, or at least one of them, but alas, she doesn't, and down goes Hippowdon. she's going to go ahead and choose to sack off her Starmie right here, as she doesn't really have a safe switch in, just to get rid of my substitute. And right here, I am really in the driver's seat. I am up 6-3, and really, I just need to make the correct switches in order to come out on top in this game. Right here, I know for sure that she's going to go for the Ice Beam, so I'm going to go straight into Assault Vest Hariyama, take that Ice Beam like a champ, and force her out because she knows that I have Bullet Punch. I'm going to go ahead and go straight for that Bullet Punch, because if she does indeed stay in, perhaps wanting to go for an extra sensory if she carries it, that'll take it out. However, she does go right into the Mega Medicham, and I do about 20%. That's not really enough to be excited about. I'm forced out because I'm afraid of the Zen Headbutt that I feel is incoming, but she goes straight for the Fake Out instead. And right here, she does indeed carry the Rock Slide, as you're going to see in a moment, and she's going to try and Para-Flinch me down, but she misses the first one and I'm able to get off a Thunder Wave. So that's going to be sort of a hindrance to her, because now everything on my team outspeeds this Mega Medicham. Even this, well, no, Slowking still doesn't outspeed. That's kind of sad. That's how slow this Slowking is. So right here, I'm just gonna keep going for Scalds. I could knock it out with the Shadow Ball. However, I do want the Slowking to go down so I can get a free switch into my Hariyama, so I can kill it with just a Bullet Punch, or really anything. A knockoff would kill it at this point. So right here, she's going to go for another Rock Slide, and this one is actually going to flinch, so her plan somewhat coming into fruition. I'm going to get some more leftovers. I could try and go straight into Hariyama right here. However, I don't really see the point. I could potentially get a 6-0 if I would have done that, but I wasn't really feeling it. The Rock Slide would have done too much damage to the point where Bisharp would have been able to knock out my Hariyama with an Iron Head, so I didn't want to risk that. So right here, she is going to end up taking out my Slowking, as she has a smidgen of HP left, and Hariyama's going to be able to come in, go for a Bullet Punch, and knock out the Mega Medicham. However, she does make the switch into Greninja. It's going to take this Bullet Punch, surprisingly. It's going to live at like 1 or 2 HP somehow, but it's not going to matter, as she brought it in just to sack it off. Bullet Punch, that's Hariyama's second kill of the match, and she is going to make the play to go right into her Mega Medicham in order to get off the some more Fake Out damage. However, I'm going to try and save differential if I can, and I'm going to make the switch out into Excadrill. This was potentially dangerous, as she could have gone for Drain Punch, but there was no reason for her to, as I could have just knocked out with Bullet Punch. I'm going to be able to take this Fake Out with relative ease, and I'm going to be able to fire off an Earthquake, kill this Mega Medicham, and I outspeed the Bisharp. It cannot kill me with a Sucker Punch, unless she's like Choice Banded, but Choice Banded Sucker Punch makes no sense. And she's going to bring in her Bisharp. It's going to take an Earthquake. It might be Sashed, which could be a problem if it's if it was Focus Sash with Sword Stance, but it is not. It goes down, and that is going to leave us with a 5-0 victory in our first week of the Battle Union. Wow, what a match. I did not expect anything sort of anywhere near this even. I was expecting it to be, the score to be a much closer score. However, the score doesn't always reflect the outcome of the battle. It felt a whole lot closer than it actually was, and Anima played a very good game. Talking to her afterwards, she did say that she wasn't expecting to see Hariyama or perhaps something else. And that's going to be the week. That's going to leave us at 2-3 positive differential now at +3 after that 5-0 victory. And that is going to be that. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed, please hit this video with a like, and I will see you guys next time.